Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Falling Apart video series. We're here for part 10, Folk Yeah. Folk Yeah. So where we left off was part 9, Would You Mind, where I had made an attempt on my life and spent some time, a very brief stint in a psych ward, not as long as I probably should have. But and then I decided that if I could just escape and bring my fiance along with me, that I would be happy and prepared to face life as a responsible human being. And none of that happened. Um, the semester closed out. I was on a second semester in a row of a medical leave of absence, and I spent the summer convincing the administration at the school to let me return to campus, which they were right to be reluctant about because not too far into that next semester, we came to an impasse where it was like, well, you could leave or we could expel you. And I chose to leave because I was miserable and, had resentment toward higher education as an institution and didn't really see pursuing a degree as furthering any future for myself. Was probably wrong about that too. I've been wrong about most of the things. Most of the things I've been wrong about. And that's okay because I'm here and, I'm living. Uh, pretty happily most of the time. So, I left and I moved back home and I didn't really have any goals or plans or anything to do. And, I just sort of continued to do the things that I thought I needed to do in order to be okay. When I was put on medication, I was advised against drinking while on antidepressants. But no one really, it seems like it should be clear and not have to be said, but alcohol is a depressant, and when you pour X amount of milliliters of depressant into your body, you really don't give the antidepressant a whole lot of space to do its job. So, I always had more faith in the depressant than the antidepressant, and I felt like I got better results with it. And, things deteriorated until February. So we're talking about, 10 months after the last attempt, 10 months after the last song that appears chronologically on the album Falling Apart, I made a second attempt on my life. And no one knew that it had happened at the time. It was unsuccessful, and there was no real evidence that anything had taken place. But I did tell my fiance the next day or the day after that, and it was shortly before Valentine's Day when she was supposed to take a trip up to to southeastern PA and visit me up here, and that was, I think it was a weekend. Valentine's Day was either Friday or Saturday, and she let me know on Tuesday that she wouldn't be coming to visit me and that she didn't think we should see each other anymore. And at that point, I decided, okay, I'm gonna really lean into this self-medication thing. One of the only things that had me curbing my use of alcohol and primarily marijuana was this relationship. I didn't want to present as alcoholic to this woman, and so when that relationship ended, I said, okay, now I can do what I really think is going to work for me, which is self-medicate with drugs and alcohol. And a few months after that, I stopped taking any of the medications I was prescribed, and I just took care of myself. And, I didn't handle that breakup well at all. I called her a bunch, and when she blocked my number, I called her dad a bunch, and it was really bad and really, really very ugly. Um, some of the behavior of which I am least proud in my entire life. And so, but out of that experience was born this song, Folk Yeah, which I wrote in the weeks, and probably in March sometime of that year. Probably a month had gone by since the initial breakup, and I was starting to formulate this plan of self-reliance. And I know what I need to do to help myself, and I know what works on my I know what works to address my internal condition. And so that's sort of the perspective that led to these words and this music. And I'll play it for you now. Folk Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about it after the fact, but I think this is a really cool, good, fun song. And the circumstances surrounding it don't change that impression of it for me in any way. I love this song, and I love the way it was recorded. I love the process by which Barry and Tim said to me, "You're a piano player. Sit down at the piano, play the piano." I had no intention for piano to appear on this track, and there were a couple of songs like that on the album where I had no idea that there was going to be piano on the track. And the piano is my favorite part of this. If you listen to it on the studio version, it's really cool and fun. And it was just, I sat down and we just did takes, and I started writing it in the moment. And I love the energy of this song, despite the fact that it's completely wrong. We'll talk about how it's wrong in a minute, but I really like this song, and I know you will too. Now when I get scared, I've got no one to run to. Now when I get sick, nobody cares. Now when I am low, my only friend is a bottle, and I've gotten so good at solitaire. Now all life takes is a little bit of faith, and if you have some in me, I will have some in you. And I can teach myself all I need to know, and I'll take it to the grave with me too. Now when I come home, I've got no one to talk to. Now when I go out, I've got to go it alone. Now on New Year's Eve, well, I just party by myself. Yeah, the lights may be on, but no one is home. Oh, I wish I could get washed away like The days are warm, the nights are chilly, though I like to call them cool. Yes, I like to call them cool. 'Cause I'm so fucking cool. Folk, yeah! So, I mean, that song was right about one thing. I am so fucking cool. But the utter self-reliance of it turned out for me to be way off the mark. You know, I can't teach myself everything I need to know. As it turns out, I needed to learn from people who had experiences that I didn't have, who had access to knowledge that I didn't have access to. And that wasn't going to happen as long as I was spending a majority of my time sitting in front of my computer, drinking, listening to music, and playing every version of Free Cell. Every single iteration. On the old Microsoft, the Microsoft XP, they had a built-in Free Cell with a million different iterations of how the deck could be dealt, and I started at 1 and was working my way up to all 1 million of them, and that just wasn't going to get the job done, you know. But as I've said in previous videos, you know, I couldn't have gotten to where I am now without walking all of the steps of the road leading up to now. I love that when I was 22, I thought I had everything figured out. What followed was worse and worse and worse for 5 years until I finally decided I couldn't tolerate it getting any worse, and I got sober. You know, again, with the help of a lot of people who had experience and wisdom and knowledge that was not available to me in my intoxicated state. And you know, over time I got to put the pieces back together and make the picture look different. And it's been the most gratifying experience of my life. It's been the most gratifying 5 years that I could have imagined. You know, we have so many opportunities to change and to grow, and so much help available to us to accomplish those goals. And there was something, you know, there's something that remains true about that song. There's something that remains true about Folk Yeah, because that change does not happen without some initiative, without some level of determination, without some level of willingness, you know, without some personal agency. You know, I attribute my success to the universe, to whatever God there might be, to all of the people, thousands of them, who have crossed my path and helped me to be closer and closer to the person that I would like to be. And maybe one day I'll get all the way there. Doubt it. But I will keep heading in that direction. I will keep using whatever means present themselves as available to me to move toward that version of myself. But that there are times when it's no one but me, right here, right now. I made the decision to sit down in front of the camera. I made the decision to share my story and my music and hope that it connects with somebody and makes sense to somebody and helps them to see ways in which they can take some control over their own lives. I hope that's what this is doing for you. And I want to express my sincere gratitude to all of you who have taken the time to investigate and see if that's the case for you. We have an epilogue to do next week. Next week we'll do Falling Apart, Part 11, Epilogue, and Poop in a Bucket. I hope you're already excited for that one, because I know I am. Cannot wait to share Poop in a Bucket with you. It's so much fun. Oh, it's even fun just to say it. So in the meantime, thanks again for being here. I love that you came, and thank you for spreading this wherever you think it might do some good. And I can't wait to see you next week for Epilogue and Poop in a Bucket. Until then, may God bless you, and I wish you nothing but happiness and health and joy that you may then spread to others. Take care.